Greetings, watchers of the unexplained. Today we're diving into the eerie world of haunted dolls. These aren't just toys, they are vessels of the supernatural, rumored to move on their own, whisper in the dark, and bring misfortune to those who dare to cross them. From the infamous Robert the Doll in Key West to the mysterious Okiku doll in Japan, we're about to explore the spine-tingling tales of 10 dolls that have terrified people around the globe. Are they really cursed, or are these just tales spun to keep us up at night? Let's uncover the truth behind these haunted artifacts. Grab your popcorn, dim the lights, and get ready for a journey into the paranormal. Let's get started. Our first story takes us to Key West, Florida, where Robert the Doll resides. Robert the Doll is a life-sized early 20th century toy with a sailor suit, originally owned by Robert Eugene Otto, a young boy from a prominent Key West family. The doll was reportedly a gift from a Bahamian servant skilled in voodoo, who was mistreated by the Otto family. The servant supposedly cursed the doll as an act of revenge. Owners and visitors have reported numerous eerie occurrences associated with Robert the Doll. Movement. Witnesses claim to have seen the doll move on its own. It has been reported to change positions, and some have even seen it moving from window to window when no one was home. Expressions. Robert's facial expressions are said to change. People have reported seeing its facial expressions shift, particularly its eyes, which seem to follow them around the room. Sounds. There have been accounts of giggling, footsteps, and a childlike voice coming from the doll. Eugene Otto's parents reported hearing their son conversing with Robert, who responded in a different voice. Mishaps and misfortune. Many visitors to the East Martello Museum, where Robert is currently housed, claim to have experienced bad luck and misfortune after taking photos without asking the doll for permission. These misfortunes include accidents, job loss, and relationship issues. Current ownership. Robert the Doll is now kept in a glass case at the East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida. The museum staff maintains strict rules about interacting with Robert, and visitors are encouraged to ask for his permission before taking photos. The museum receives letters and emails from people asking for forgiveness after disrespecting the doll during their visit. Investigations and media coverage. Robert has been featured in numerous paranormal documentaries and television shows. His story has been the subject of extensive research by paranormal investigators. The doll's eerie reputation has also inspired a horror movie, further cementing its place in popular culture. Psychic and spiritual insights. Several psychics and spiritual mediums have examined Robert and concluded that it harbors a powerful spirit. Some believe the spirit is that of the servant who originally owned the doll, while others think it could be a malevolent entity attracted by the doll's history and notoriety. These psychics have reported feeling intense energy and discomfort in Robert's presence. Public reactions and skepticism. While many people are convinced of Robert's supernatural abilities, skeptics argue that the experiences associated with the doll can be attributed to psychological suggestion and the power of belief. Despite this, the volume of first-hand accounts of paranormal activity surrounding Robert keeps the legend alive and thriving. Our next tale involves not a doll but a painting, The Crying Boy. The Crying Boy is a series of paintings by Italian artist Giovanni Bragolin, also known as Bruno Amadio. Produced in the 1950s, these mass-produced prints feature a variety of young boys with tear-streaked faces. Bragolin reportedly painted these images of orphans to capture their sadness and vulnerability. The paintings became popular and were widely sold in the United Kingdom and other countries. Paranormal activity. The Crying Boy paintings became infamous in the UK during the 1980s due to a series of mysterious house fires. Fire resistance. Reports emerged that homes with a crying boy painting had burned to the ground, but the paintings themselves remained inexplicably undamaged. This led to widespread belief that the paintings were cursed. Bad luck. Owners of the paintings claimed to experience bad luck and misfortune, ranging from minor accidents to significant life disruptions. The fear surrounding the painting grew as more people reported strange occurrences. Investigations and media coverage. Several newspapers and media outlets investigated the supposed curse. Notable among these was The Sun, a British tabloid that published a series of articles on the phenomena, further spreading the story. In an attempt to debunk the myth, skeptics suggested that the paintings were treated with a fire-retardant varnish, explaining their survival in fires. However, no definitive scientific explanation was provided. Current beliefs and skepticism. While many people remain convinced of the painting's curse, others attribute the phenomenon to psychological suggestion and mass hysteria. Psychological impact. The unsettling nature of the crying child's image may have influenced people's perceptions, making them more likely to believe in and report supernatural experiences. Coincidence versus causation. Skeptics argue that the number of paintings sold was so large that the likelihood of some being involved in house fires purely by coincidence is significant. Collective burnings and disposals. In response to the fear surrounding the painting, many people chose to destroy or dispose of their crying boy prints. Mass burnings. Some communities organized collective burnings of the paintings to rid themselves of the supposed curse. These events were sometimes covered by local media, adding to the legend's notoriety. Disposals. Other owners returned the paintings to sellers or threw them away, further fueling the idea that the paintings brought bad luck. The Okiku doll is a Japanese doll that has been the subject of numerous paranormal stories. In 1918, a teenager named Eikichi Suzuki purchased the doll for his younger sister Okiku while visiting Sapporo, Hokkaido. The doll, approximately 40 centimeters tall, was dressed in a traditional kimono and had black hair cut in a shoulder-length bob. Okiku cherished the doll, which she named after herself, but she tragically died a year later from a severe illness. Paranormal activity. After Okiku's death, her family placed the doll on a household altar in her memory. Soon, they noticed that the doll's hair, originally cut in a traditional style, began to grow. Despite regular trimmings, the hair continued to lengthen, reaching down to the doll's knees. This unexplained phenomenon has been a key point in the doll's eerie reputation. Hair growth. The hair growth of the Okiku doll has been verified by scientific examination, which confirmed that the hair is indeed human. However, the reason for its growth remains a mystery. Spiritual connection. Many believe that the spirit of Okiku resides within the doll, which explains the continuous hair growth. The doll is said to move on its own and sometimes causes strange occurrences around it. Current location. The Okiku doll is currently housed at the Manenji Temple in Iwamizawa, Hokkaido. The temple monks regularly trim the doll's hair, and the doll has become a notable attraction. Visitors come to the temple to see the doll and often leave offerings in memory of Okiku. Cultural impact and media coverage. The Okiku doll has become a well-known figure in Japanese folklore and has been featured in various media, including television programs, books, and articles about paranormal phenomena. Its story is often told as an example of haunted dolls and objects in Japanese culture. Psychic and spiritual insights. Spiritualists and psychics who have examined the Okiku doll believe it is a vessel for Okiku's spirit. Some have reported feeling a strong presence when near the doll and have claimed that it is a protective spirit rather than a malevolent one. Skepticism and scientific perspective. While many people believe in the paranormal aspects of the Okiku doll, skeptics argue that the hair growth could be due to natural factors, such as the hair originally being cut from a longer length and thus continuing to show gradual growth as it settles. However, no definitive scientific explanation has been provided to fully explain the phenomenon. Mandy the Haunted Doll is an antique doll believed to have been made in Germany between 1910 and 1920. The doll is crafted from porcelain and is dressed in a baby outfit. Mandy's origin story is somewhat shrouded in mystery, but she gained notoriety when she was donated to the Quesnel Museum in British Columbia, Canada, in 1991 by a woman named Miranda. Miranda claimed that the doll was responsible for various unexplained phenomena in her home and decided to part with it for her own peace of mind. Paranormal activity. Since her arrival at the Quesnel Museum, Mandy has been the source of numerous strange occurrences, making her a focal point for paranormal enthusiasts. Mysterious sounds. Staff and visitors have reported hearing footsteps, disembodied voices, and unexplained crying, particularly when Mandy is alone in a room. Movement. Objects around Mandy's display case have been found moved or disturbed. Some museum staff have also reported the doll changing positions within the case. Electrical disturbances. There have been instances where electronic devices malfunction or exhibit unusual behavior in Mandy's presence. Unsettling presence. Many people who come into contact with Mandy describe an overwhelming sense of unease and discomfort. Some staff members refuse to be alone with her. Current location. Mandy currently resides in the Quesnel Museum, where she is kept in a secure display case. The museum staff have created a special exhibit for Mandy, highlighting her history and the reported paranormal activities associated with her. Visitors are drawn to the museum specifically to see Mandy and often leave offerings or notes for her. Media coverage and public interest. Mandy has been featured in various paranormal documentaries, television shows, and articles. Her story has attracted both skeptics and believers, contributing to the doll's fame. The museum frequently receives inquiries and visits from paranormal investigators and curious tourists who want to experience Mandy's eerie presence firsthand. Psychic and spiritual insights. Psychics and spiritualists who have examined Mandy believe she is inhabited by the spirit of a young girl or a troubled soul. Some suggest that the doll's disturbing history and the circumstances surrounding her creation have imbued her with a strong spiritual presence. These experts often report feeling a strong energy emanating from the doll. Skepticism and alternative explanations. While many people believe in the paranormal activities associated with Mandy, skeptics argue that the reported phenomena could be attributed to psychological suggestion, environmental factors, or simple coincidences. They point out that antique dolls, particularly those with lifelike features, often evoke strong emotional reactions, which can be mistaken for paranormal experiences. Pupa the doll is a vintage doll made in the likeness of its first owner, a young Italian girl. Created in the 1920s, Pupa is approximately 14 inches tall and is made of felt with a hard, articulated body and a painted face. The doll's hair is real human hair, and she wears a blue suit with a red and white scarf. Pupa's original owner claimed that the doll was her best friend and confidant, especially during her childhood years in Italy. Paranormal activity. After the death of her original owner in 2005, the family began experiencing strange occurrences that they attributed to Pupa. Movement. Pupa is reported to change positions inside her display case. Family members have found the doll in different postures and locations within the case, despite no one having moved her. Tapping. The family claims to hear tapping on the glass of display case. This phenomenon typically occurs when the family is near or discussing the doll. Expressions. Some have noted changes in Pupa's facial expression, particularly her eyes, which seem to follow people around the room. Protective spirit. The original owner believed Pupa had a protective spirit and could move and speak. After her death, the family continued to feel a strong presence around the doll, which they interpreted as Pupa watching over them. Current location. Pupa is currently kept in a private collection by the family of her original owner. They have taken steps to preserve the doll and her story, keeping her in a well-maintained display case. The family continues to report occasional paranormal activity associated with the doll, though these occurrences have become less frequent over time. Media coverage and public interest. Pupa the doll has garnered attention from paranormal enthusiasts and investigators. Her story has been featured in various articles and blogs about haunted dolls and paranormal phenomena. While not as widely known as some other haunted dolls, Pupa's tale continues to intrigue those interested in the supernatural. Psychic and spiritual insights. Psychics and spiritualists who have examined Pupa believe that the doll houses a benevolent spirit, possibly that of her original owner. They report feeling a strong protective energy emanating from the doll. Some psychics have suggested that Pupa was a vessel for the original owner's spirit, explaining the continued presence felt by the family. Skepticism and alternative explanations. Skeptics argue that the phenomena associated with Pupa can be explained by natural causes such as environmental factors or the power of suggestion. They point out that the reports of movement and tapping could be attributed to vibrations, changes in temperature, or the family's emotional attachment to the doll. Despite these explanations, the family remains convinced of Pupa's paranormal nature. Letta Me Out doll, also known as Letta, is believed to be over 200 years old and of Eastern European origin. The doll's exact origins are unknown, but it is thought to have been created in Romania. Letta is approximately 3 feet tall and made from carved wood with a painted face and human hair. The doll was discovered in 1972 by Kerry Walton, an Australian man who found it under the floorboards of an abandoned house in Wagga, New South Wales. Paranormal activity. Since its discovery, Letta has been associated with numerous strange and eerie occurrences. Movement. Letta is reported to move on its own. Kerry Walton claims that he has found the doll in different positions from where he left it. Expressions. The doll's facial expressions are said to change, often appearing more lifelike or menacing. Sounds. Visitors have reported hearing sounds such as crying or whispering when near the doll. Physical reactions. People who come into contact with Letta often experience feelings of dread, nausea, or dizziness. Some have reported feeling an unseen force pushing them away from the doll. Animals' reactions. Dogs react aggressively towards Letta, barking and growling at it, while other animals exhibit fear and refuse to go near the doll. Current location. Letta is currently in the possession of Kerry Walton, who often travels with the doll to various paranormal events and television shows. The doll is kept in a secure case when not on display to prevent unauthorized contact and potential disturbances. Media coverage and public interest. Letta has been featured in several paranormal documentaries and TV shows, including appearances on Haunted Australia and The Today Show. The doll's eerie reputation has made it a popular subject for paranormal enthusiasts, and investigators who seek to understand the origins of its supposed haunting. Psychic and spiritual insights. Psychics and mediums who have examined Letta believe that the doll is inhabited by the spirit of a young boy who died violently. This spirit is thought to be the source of the doll's paranormal activity. Some mediums have also suggested that Letta was created as a vessel to contain or control this spirit, explaining the doll's unsettling presence. Skepticism and alternative explanations. While many believe in the paranormal activity associated with Letta, skeptics argue that the phenomena could be due to psychological suggestion or natural causes, such as changes in temperature and humidity affecting the wooden doll. However, the consistency of the reports from different individuals lends some credibility to the claims of Letta's haunting. Peggy the doll, a blonde-haired doll with blue eyes, is a modern-day haunted artifact known for causing physical and psychological disturbances. Her exact origin is unknown, but she gained notoriety after being acquired by paranormal investigator Jane Harris in 2014. Harris, who runs an organization called Haunted Dolls, received Peggy from a previous owner who claimed the doll caused severe nightmares and health issues. Paranormal activity. Peggy has been associated with a variety of disturbing phenomena. Physical symptoms. People who view Peggy's photos or videos often report symptoms such as headaches, chest pains, nausea, and dizziness. Some have experienced severe reactions, including heart attacks and strokes. Electronic disturbances. Devices such as computers, cameras, and lights tend to malfunction in Peggy's presence, furthering the belief that she has a disruptive energy. Nightmares and visions. Many individuals report having vivid nightmares and waking visions after encountering Peggy, both in person and online. These visions often include Peggy appearing in their dreams or as a presence in their homes. Emotional disturbances. People have reported feelings of extreme anxiety, dread, and sadness when near Peggy. Some even claim to have experienced a sense of being watched or followed. Current location. Peggy is currently housed in a secure location managed by Jane Harris. Harris takes precautions to limit Peggy's exposure to the public due to the intense reactions she provokes. The doll is occasionally displayed during controlled paranormal investigations and events. Media coverage and public interest. Peggy has been featured in various media outlets, including paranormal documentaries and television shows. Her story gained significant attention after Harris posted videos and photos of Peggy online, which led to a flood of reports from people claiming to experience negative effects from just viewing her image. The doll's fame has only increased with her inclusion in discussions on popular paranormal blogs and YouTube channels. Psychic and spiritual insights. Psychics and spiritual mediums who have interacted with Peggy believe she is inhabited by a restless spirit. Some suggest the spirit may be of a woman who experienced trauma or violence. These experts report feeling an overwhelming presence when near the doll and often advise caution when dealing with her. Skepticism and alternative explanations. Skeptics argue that the phenomena associated with Peggy can be attributed to the power of suggestion and psychological influence. They propose that the widespread reports of physical and emotional symptoms could be due to individuals' expectations and the placebo effect. However, the consistency and intensity of the reports from diverse sources continue to intrigue and concern believers. Harold the doll gained notoriety in 2003 when it was listed on eBay by a seller who claimed the doll was haunted. The listing described strange occurrences, including crying, laughing, and even violent behavior directed at the owners. This eBay auction caught the attention of the paranormal community, and the doll quickly became infamous. Paranormal activity. Owners of Harold have reported a range of disturbing phenomena. These include physical harm. Some owners claim they experience severe headaches, stabbing pains, and other physical ailments after coming into contact with Harold. Electronic disturbances. Devices such as cameras and audio recorders malfunction when near the doll, adding to the belief that it is cursed. Voices and sounds. Owners have heard unexplained voices, crying, and even sinister laughter emanating from the doll. Bad luck and misfortune. Many owners reported a string of bad luck and personal misfortune after acquiring Harold, including accidents, financial difficulties, and health problems. Current ownership. Anthony Quinata, a paranormal investigator and author, currently owns Harold the doll. Quinata has conducted extensive research and investigations into the doll's history and the paranormal activity associated with it. He wrote a book titled Harold the Haunted Doll, which details his experiences and findings. Quinata has also shared his research and evidence on various platforms, including his YouTube channel and website. Investigations and media coverage. Harold has been featured in numerous paranormal documentaries and TV shows. Investigators and psychics who have examined the doll often report intense feelings of dread and unease. Some have even refused to continue working with the doll due to the negative energy they felt. Psychic and spiritual insights. Several psychics and spiritual mediums who have worked with Harold claim that the doll is inhabited by multiple spirits, some of which are malevolent. These entities are believed to cause the various paranormal activities and misfortunes associated with the doll. One psychic even suggested that Harold was used in occult rituals, which may explain the powerful and dark energies attached to it. Public reactions and skepticism. While many believe in the paranormal phenomena associated with Harold, others remain skeptical. Critics argue that the reported incidents could be due to suggestion, psychosomatic responses, or coincidences. Despite this, the stories and experiences of those who have encountered Harold continue to fuel its legend. Joliet the Cursed Doll has been a part of one family's dark legacy for over 4 generations. The doll's history is shrouded in mystery and tragedy, believed to have originated in the early 20th century. The story begins with a woman named Anna G., who received the doll as a gift from a jealous friend. Little did she know, this seemingly innocent gift would become a family curse. Paranormal activity. Joliet is infamous for bringing death and despair to its owners. Family curse. Each generation of Anna's family has suffered the same tragic fate. Every woman who receives the doll during pregnancy gives birth to a healthy boy who dies 3 days later. This pattern has continued for 4 generations. Crying and whispers. Family members report hearing the cries and whispers of infant boys emanating from the doll, especially at night. These cries are believed to be the spirits of the deceased boys. Eerie presence. Joliet's owners have described feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness and dread when near the doll. The family's women have felt an inexplicable connection to the doll, despite the tragedies it brings. Current location. Joliet remains in the possession of the family, currently held by a woman named Anna's great-granddaughter. The doll is kept in a secure private location, and the family continues to experience the haunting cries and whispers. Media coverage and public interest. Joliet has garnered interest from paranormal enthusiasts and researchers. The doll's tragic and eerie history has been featured in several articles, blogs, and documentaries about haunted objects. Its story is often cited as one of the most compelling examples of a generational curse. Psychic and spiritual insights. Psychics and mediums who have examined Joliet believe the doll is inhabited by the spirits of the deceased boys. These experts claim that the boys' souls are trapped within the doll, unable to find peace. Some psychics have attempted to communicate with these spirits, reporting feelings of intense sorrow and longing. Skepticism and alternative explanations. Skeptics argue that the phenomena associated with Joliet could be the result of psychological suggestion and the family's long history of grief. They suggest that the reported sounds and feelings could be manifestations of the family's collective trauma. However, the consistency of the reports over generations lends credence to the belief in the doll's curse. Annabelle is a Raggedy Ann doll that gained notoriety in the 1970s due to its alleged haunting. The doll was originally a gift to a nursing student named Donna, who received it from her mother in 1970. Donna and her roommate Angie began noticing strange occurrences involving the doll shortly after its arrival in their apartment. Paranormal activity. Annabelle is associated with a range of disturbing phenomena. Movement. The doll would reportedly move on its own, often being found in different rooms than where it was left. Sometimes the doll would be found with its arms and legs crossed or in other unusual positions. Notes and messages. Donna and Angie discovered notes written on parchment paper which they did not keep in the house. The notes contained messages like "Help us" and "Help Lou," referring to a friend of the roommates. Violent attacks. Lou, a friend of Donna and Angie, claimed to have been attacked by the doll. He experienced vivid nightmares and, on one occasion, reported feeling a sensation like claws on his chest, resulting in physical scratch marks. Involvement of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Concerned about the escalating incidents, Donna contacted a medium who claimed the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins. However, further disturbances led Donna and Angie to seek the help of renowned paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens concluded that the doll was not possessed by a child's spirit but by a demonic entity using the doll as a conduit. Current location. Annabelle is currently housed in the Warrens Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut. The doll is kept in a glass case with a warning sign that reads, "Warning, positively do not open." The Warrens believed that the demonic spirit attached to the doll was extremely dangerous, and the precautions were necessary to prevent further harm. Media coverage and public interest. Annabelle's story has been widely covered in media, including books, television shows, and films. The doll's legend gained mainstream popularity with the release of The Conjuring, 2013, and its spin-off films, particularly Annabelle, 2014, which dramatized the doll's haunting. These movies have contributed significantly to Annabelle's status as one of the most famous haunted dolls in the world. Psychic and spiritual insights. Spiritualists and psychics who have examined Annabelle generally agree with the Warrens' assessment that the doll is associated with a malevolent entity. They report feeling a powerful dark energy emanating from the doll and advise against direct contact. Skepticism and alternative explanations. While many believe in the paranormal activities associated with Annabelle, skeptics argue that the phenomena could be attributed to psychological suggestion and environmental factors. They suggest that the experiences of Donna, Angie, and Lou could be due to the power of suggestion or hoaxes. Despite this, the consistency and intensity of the reports from multiple individuals lend some credence to the belief in Annabelle's haunting. Thank you for joining me on this eerie journey into the world of haunted dolls. From Robert the Doll to the infamous Annabelle, these tales remind us of the thin line between the real and the supernatural. Whether you believe in these stories or think they're just the stuff of nightmares, there's no denying the chill they bring. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more scary stories, unsolved mysteries, and fascinating documentaries. Do you have any spooky doll stories of your own? Share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experiences. Thanks for watching, and remember, some stories are more than just tales. They're warnings. Farewell.